This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
So I'm attending the Creator Space event in New York. I've never attended this event before. It is essentially like a big release party. It's a bunch of other really talented artists, photographers, artisans, I guess you could consider influencers. And we get to be the first to hear about it. We get to be the first to play with it. There's gonna be all these different sets that we can use to test out the camera, to test out the lens. I've heard rumors about what it is, but you'll find out in a second. And I feel very special because I am one of the first people to get to play around with it. So that feels pretty neat. It definitely feels kind of surreal, special, but kind of surreal to be at these events. Like I never think they're as big of a deal as they are until I get here. I'm like, oh, it's like, I'm sure like a lot of people get to go to this. This is something cool to be invited to. I don't know why I try and downplay it. It might be that imposter syndrome kind of creeping in, going like, I'm not that great or I'm not that important or something like that, just doubting it. But I'm really excited to see what it's all about. I know a lot of people that are here, a lot of other really cool creators are invited to this, and I'm just excited to see what it's all about. I feel very special. I'm very excited to like play with some new gear, you know?
And when it comes to camera releases, this is the time of year where there's just a lot coming out. Cameras, tech, everything. It's November right now, and honestly, like, I guess you could say in this industry, we joke around that Techtober is our living nightmare. Everyone's really busy, everybody's traveling a lot because of all these releases. And I know for you guys, even for me, it's super overwhelming to look at all the options out there and go, should I be upgrading? Does this make sense for me? Is this more money than I should be spending on this right now? Should I wait for the next release? It's just overwhelming to sit there and see all of the options available to you and go like, which of these is actually the best camera for me and what my needs are? And part of the purpose of my channel is to be here to help you make those decisions. But honestly, it's even overwhelming for me with the release that's happening today. It threw a wrench into some of my upgrade plans. There have been videos recently where I've talked about different cameras that I want to switch to, and some of mine I want to sell and an upgrade for others, and this is kind of changing my entire plan. So that's stressful. Stressful, but really exciting. Seeing the innovation and the upgrades and the adjustments that have happened honestly so quickly by different companies, including Sony, it's really impressive. And I had a moment last night where I was talking to someone and trying to explain the differences between one camera and another camera and going, well, this one's better for photo and this one's better for video because of the XYZ. And I'm realizing like the differences between a good photo camera and a good video camera used to be so large that it was obvious like which one was for what. And now I feel like for the average person, you wouldn't even know. Like the differences spec-wise and in the quality when you're actually watching the video or looking at the photo, are people even really gonna notice? Like the average person. I would know, other photographers would know, but is anybody else gonna know? Like these cameras are getting so good now. So I've changed my mind 1,000 times this year about what camera I'm actually going to be upgrading to, because I've been sitting with the same kit for like 2 or 3 years, but it is too long. I need to make a change, and I've made some decisions, but I'll explain after the event. You enjoying this video? Cool. Couple things I'm gonna ask you to do then. 1, maybe subscribe to my channel. 2, listen to me talk about Squarespace for a minute. Thanks. I used Squarespace to make my website. I legitimately did, even before they paid me to do this ad. The template I chose was clean and stylish, and I literally built it myself. I really struggle with design, but Squarespace made it super easy for me to showcase my portfolio beautifully. The platform is super easy for me to customize, update regularly, and I can get analytics about the purchases made on my digital products through my online store. And I run my own business, so I don't have time to learn a whole new platform. All right, so head over to Squarespace for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, you can use this code right here to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Thanks, Squarespace. Now back to the video.
We proudly present the Alpha1 Mark II. We are delighted to introduce our new F2 suit, FE2870 F2G Master.
We'll be back tomorrow by 3:30.
Tomorrow by 3:30. Okay.
Let's go get a bagel. Bagel time.
All right, let's go.
So two things were just released. The new Sony A1 Mark II and the 28-70 f2. Now, this isn't the 28-70, this is the 24-70 Mark II. Couldn't get my hands on the lens for today, but I do have the A1. It's no secret that this is obviously a professional camera. It's at a professional level price point. It's not for everyone. It's not cheap, but if this is something that you need and you do for your job, then it makes sense, and the price is worth it for everything that you're getting. So as I mentioned earlier, this was changing a lot of the decisions I've made this year for what my upgrades are gonna be. What I would like to do is sell my A7R4 and my A7C, and that'll give me some of the funds I would need to move on to this guy, and then I'll have this, which is the replacement for both my photo and second video camera, since it's Sony's flagship camera. It's the most perfect hybrid in my world because I'm a huge fan of Sony, and obviously all my gear is Sony. Then I'll still have my A7S III, which I would still like to upgrade into an FX3, and then I'll just have two bodies, which is fantastic. A few key features for the A1 II. We have the very angle tilting touchscreen. It's got 50 megapixels. It shoots 8K 30, 4K 120 frames at 10-bit. It has all of the picture profiles we know and love. It has composite shooting. It has the AI that the R5 has for human tracking and bird and truck and all of the things. It also has pre-capture now, and you can obviously set how much of a pre-capture you want. It has the speed boost button right here, but really it's just another custom button because you can set it to whatever you want. And that makes this, for me, the perfect hybrid. And why I would choose this over the A9, and that's for me personally, is because I want the video features. If you're just shooting photo, and especially if you're shooting primarily sports, you're gonna want the global shutter that you get with the A9 III, and then maybe the A1 may not make as much sense for you. They're both about the same price point, it just depends on your needs. For me, my final thoughts on this guy, I love it, it's amazing. It is a little expensive, but worth it for the kind of work I'm doing. Is this something you guys are excited about? Let me know in the comments below. Big thanks to Sony for having me out, and please subscribe. That would be great. Oh, and follow me on Instagram. That'd also be great too. Okay, bye.